Okay, pistons, connecting rods, numbers face forward. Got it all cleaned out inside here. Got the piston pin all lubed. Now I'll come back here in a minute. I'm going to show you how there's arrows on the pistons that face forward. They're going to match the numbers. So when you see the arrow facing forward, it faces these numbers. The other side of the connecting rod does not have numbers. So let me get this pin in and then I'll show you. The other thing I wanted to show real quick on these piston pins, because they can get cockeyed, and then you score the inside of the bore here where the piston pin comes in. This actually fits over the piston like that, and the pin goes through. So if you get this pin going through cockeyed, you're going to score the inside of this wall. What you want is to lube it up, and you want to be able to take it by hand like that. You want to be able to freely. If you feel any resistance, then you know that you're in cockeyed. It's got to be concentric and squared and running through. I can do that with one finger, so that's how you know that you're correct. People will sit here and they'll take a hammer and they'll beat the fuck out of that, and then they end up scoring the inside of the bore here. So just another safeguard to let you know that you're doing properly. Okay, another thing is, I don't know if my flash is going to work right now. Inside this, I already did the other side, so I'm going to push this back. This is the wrist pin. Inside here is a groove. Don't know if you can see that. So if you've got this pin too far forward, too far back, so on and so forth, you can't get the pin in here. I already got the other side in, it snapped in, so what you're going to do is take these pins, I'm going to take this back and clean it real quick because it still had some gunk from the other one. But basically, you've got a little notch here. That's where you started. You're going to squeeze it with a pair of vice grips or whatever until you can get it started. Then you're going to work your way around. And basically, the way that you know that you have it correctly is... hang on one second. Okay. Should be able to take something of the same diameter as this pin, basically, or close to the same diameter, a little bit undersized because you don't want to hit the inside bore. So I went a little undersized. This is a 12mm socket. And if you push it, transfer hands here, sorry. If you push here, as you saw earlier when I was pushing with my fingers, if you push here and it stops, you know that you've got the pin in the groove on the backside because the pin will not go through. I'll come back and show you how the other side is seated. Once I have both of them, shouldn't be able to push it either way. The pin will not come out either way because there's the groove. The pin can only fit, or the ring can only fit in one way. Once you have it, it stops that ring. That ring stops the piston from coming back and forth. Okay, I've got it. Now the ring, let me get out of the shadow. Now the ring is in the groove. I can take, sorry for the camera work, I can take the 12mm, push. Let me loosen this out. Sorry, I gotta flip this around real quick. Back to the original position to show you that it's not going to come out the other way as well. Okay, so now it's facing the other way, back to the original with the numbers. There's the arrow showing that that's the way to the front of the engine. That arrow shows the piston faces the front. These numbers face the front, and this is opposite of what I had before. Little snap rings in there. I already showed you how I pushed from the backside and didn't come forward. Now I'm pushing from the front end. So I could take a hammer and beat, but you don't want to compromise that ring. So once you know that you can push from both ends and it's not coming out, you know that you've got the piston secured. So there we go. Connecting rod and piston is connected.